Hi, I'm Devin Jane, a third grade teacher at Bain Elementary, and I want to share with you how I build out the Canvas shell for social studies and turn it into a more student-friendly course. So, a couple of things that I do here are I start by coming to the district Canvas course for social studies. And I always begin by looking at whatever unit it is that I want to teach because they have broken down several different important things for the lesson. So I like looking at how do they want to engage students, kind of what is it that we need to really be explaining, and then what is it that the students are expected to do as a performance piece in order to show their understanding. So this is a tool that I like to come to because it will give me information on if there's anything I need to adapt. For instance, because my students are learning social studies predominantly asynchronously when we are online, especially. So how can I get them this information without them being directly in front of me? So this is one great tool that I use. Another thing that I do is within my social studies Canvas course, I create assignment pages. So you can see here how I'll just add an assignment and I have it broken down by what unit and what lesson it is that we are working on. And I like to use a virtual classroom. So I created a virtual classroom in order to try to engage the students a little bit more. So I always start with some general instructions up at the top. So I tell them just some reminders. They will click on the items on the whiteboard to do their learning. And then they always click on their laptop in order to complete their assignment. So I tried to make this as student friendly as possible. So every single time they come here, they will click on whatever is on the whiteboard to do their learning for the day. So sometimes it's a video, it might be a song, it might be an article or something for them to read. That is where I tend to use the resources that are pushed out into the shell. I'll take that and then just link it here into these images on the whiteboard. So you can see, like, if I click my first image, it takes them to a video that I want them to watch. Then another thing is here we have an article that I want them to read or a passage. So I just link everything to that whiteboard so they know that is exactly where they need to go in order to complete their work for that day. I also like to include anchor charts on the wall so that, and I link that so when they click it, it will make it bigger. And I always give them some way to get back to the classroom so that then they can easily navigate it. And again, so here they will have their computer that they will click on in order to do their assignment, and it will have them do a forced copy. So that way each student has their own and they will be able to save it in their Google Drive and be able to turn it into Canvas. I also like to include a bookshelf if it is a unit that it requires a lot of reading. And so then as they read a book, like for example from Epic, some of the ones that the district has shared with us, then I will save that book here on the bookshelf so they can refer back to that book. I also like to make it engaging by putting what I call hidden links on the page. So sometimes I'll tell a student, it's not in every lesson, but I'll tell them, hey, there's a hidden link in there. And then they like to search around and see if they can find it. So for example, just to talk about scarcity, toilet paper was a great example given everything going on in the world. So I put a hidden link on the toilet paper and it just takes them to a couple of funny memes so that they can just kind of laugh, do something a little more engaging for the day. So these are just some examples of ways that I have built out my Canvas course. I like to keep the classroom the same for each topic, but you can see here we switched over to natural resources. So then I changed my anchor chart so that then the students can get to see a little bit more of what it is that we're talking about. Again, the things that I want them to focus on for learning, they have right there on the whiteboard. Books that we've been reading are down here on the bookshelf, and they will click the computer in order to do their assignment. When I switch units, like for Unit 4, then I switch my classroom up and I like to change it. So as I was mentioning before, that district social studies Canvas page really gives me some background information of what do I need to make sure that the students can understand, especially when working asynchronously. So for example, Unit 4, Lesson 4, I really wanted to be able to get some information out to the students that I might not have the opportunity to if we are in person or not. So I decided to pre-record a little video of me talking about what are some things that they're going to be talking about. And I took that information directly from this Canvas page here that the district gave us. So I just wanted to kind of front load them with a little bit of information in this particular case about plantations and what it was that we were going to be talking about in this lesson. So then I just pop that little video in there so that they'll watch that before they watch any of the other materials in order to understand what it is that they're going to be working on that day. Sometimes if the lesson says, hey, you're going to be doing this, and I realize, oh, that's not going to work. So for example, in this social distance setting, that's not going to work. Like I can't perform a scoot around the room because I'll have too many students and we can't appropriately social distance. So I might alter that lesson a little bit to make it more appropriate for how I could use it today. So like Unit 4, Lesson 5 was supposed to be a scoot, so instead I turned it into a scavenger hunt. So they're going to have a note catcher here as their assignment for the day, and I just altered my virtual classroom so that then they can do a scavenger hunt to try to find the information that they need to fill in on their note catcher. So then some of these links lead them to what they need to know. Some of the links lead to just funny things or nice pictures of Charlotte. So they have to then try to find the information on their own. So again, just trying to kind of make it more engaging and think about how can I still get them the information that they need within these new parameters that we have given everything that's going on right now. So these are just kind of some tools and some ways that I like to adjust learning for my students to make it more engaging, and instead of using just a shell, really using those resources to build it out into a student-friendly way. So I hope that this gives you an idea of one way that you can build out your Canvas shell in a student-friendly way. Thank you.